All right, picking back up where we were, just to get through. So 24 here was we were in verses, or excuse me, chapter 23, and the let's see, the price of a dog. We had talked about that. So picking up in verse 19 of 23, it says, "You shall not charge interest to your brother, interest on money or food or anything that is lent out as interest. To a foreigner you may charge interest, but to your brother you shall not charge interest, that the Lord your God may bless you in all to which you set your hand in the land which you are entering to possess." And we keep seeing this link between giving, giving so that the Lord may bless. I'm imagining just my hand full of stuff, and if it's full, then if I give that, then the Lord can continue blessing, right? So there's just this divine flow, if you will, going on. And in verse 21, when you make a vow to the Lord your God, you shall not delay to pay it, for the Lord your God will surely require it of you, and it would be sin to you. That which is gone for your lips, you shall keep. Gone from your lips, you shall keep and perform. So, keeping your word, keeping your vow. And verse 24, when you come into your neighbor's vineyard, you may eat your fill of grapes at your pleasure, but you shall not put any in your container. When you come into your neighbor's standing grain, you may pluck the heads with your hand, but you shall not use a sickle on your neighbor's standing grain. So enjoy each other's stuff, but don't take it over. Enjoy the house, but don't move in. And chapter 24, the there's law here. There's the law concerning divorce, and what there's the certificate of divorce brought up here, which helps to show us that marriage during this time period was more along the lines of a business affair, and the husband could send the wife out of the house, but this requirement of a certificate would make it more challenging for the husband to force the wife from her home and children. And there's a bit to talk about here in terms of the culture at the time. The men certainly had more authority than the women, um, but there's an element of as well of, I'm thinking, if I were a woman and I didn't want to be with this man, I could make myself so intolerable, to live with, that um, you know that the man would want to send me out. And then more miscellaneous laws. We see miscellaneous laws showing up throughout each of these chapters, and as we go through these, it's just law. So maybe no real flow of concept, but yet just more just lines of law. When a man has taken a new wife, verse 5, he shall not go out to war or be charged with any business. He shall be free at home 1 year and bring happiness to his wife whom he has taken. I like that one. Verse 6, no man shall take the lower or the upper millstone in pledge, for he takes one's living in pledge. And I'm not real familiar with a millstone, so you could Google and get an image on this. Millstones for crushing grains and whatnot. And in other words, don't take this as a pledge. Don't take because there's these two portions. Don't take the upper portion or the lower portion as a pledge, because in essence, if you take that away from them during that time period, you're taking away their livelihood. And then verse 7, if a man is found kidnapping any of his brethren of the children of Israel and mistreats him or sells him, then that kidnapper shall die. And again, we see this phrase, and you shall put away the evil from among you. Verse 8, taking heed in an outbreak of leprosy. And getting into verse 10, this is lending. So in verse 10, when you lend your brother anything, you shall not go into his house for a pledge. You can go visit him, and you can stand outside, of the person, who who you'd lent to, to bring the pledge out to you. And it also says, if the man is poor, you shall not keep his pledge overnight and return it to him when the sun, by the time the sun goes down. And then getting into 14, you shall not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, whether one of your brethren or one of the aliens who is in your land within your one of your brethren or one of the aliens who is in your land within your gates. And then in verse 15, each day you shall give him his wages. And this one really hit for me because just thinking about it. So again, verse 14, you shall not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, whether one of your brethren or one of the aliens who is in your land within your gates. Each day you shall give him his wages and not let the sun go down on it, for he is poor and has set his heart on it, lest he cry out against you to the Lord and it be sin to you. The industry that I happen to be in, I work with laborers, and that's really it. I mean, it's every Friday, they want their paycheck. I mean, they work very hard throughout the week. They have indeed set their heart on it, and because of the nature of this type of business, um, uh, you know, contracting type work, it's you don't always have the money. The money for that particular project's not always there, but yet that means nothing to the hired hand, nothing at all. That Friday, all they know is that they put in a day's worth of work, and guess what? I'm going to get a day's worth of pay, or I'm going to get a week's worth of pay. And I've seen this time and time again play out. Just their morale either be nothing, or low. The morale be low, or then they get that paycheck, and it just keeps everything moving. Like a well-oiled machine, if you will. So, for he is poor and he has set his heart on it, lest he cry out against you to the Lord and it be sin to you. Verse 16, fathers shall not be put to death for their children, nor shall children be put to death for their fathers. A person shall be put to death for his own sin. And verse 17, you shall not pervert justice, do the stranger or the fatherless, nor take a widow's garment as a pledge. But here we are again, seeing this phrase, but you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you from there. Therefore, I command you to do this thing. And then verse 19, finishing up, I just thought this was just a beautiful capturing of being blessed and leaving. I'll just read it. When you reap your harvest in your field and forget a sheaf in the field, you shall not go back to get it. It shall be for the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. When you beat your olive trees, you shall not go over the boughs again. It shall be for the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, you shall not glean it afterward. It shall be for the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. And you shall remember that you are a slave in the land of Egypt. Therefore, I command you to do this thing. All right. Till next time, guys. I hope this finds you well, and I pray the scripture that the Lord's word will not return void. May it bless you and grow you. Take care.